This next video is going to describe the Notes function. Notes is a very useful and powerful tool for premium subscribers. It essentially allows you to type things into the application to be saved and also to be shown to other users you may be collaborating with, or just to remind yourself. So the main way to get there is to click on the menu, and if you go down to the last of the 4 subsections, the second option, you'll see it says Notes. Click on that. This takes you to the main Notes screen. So the main Notes screen, if you look at the row below Edward Martin, so this is showing that Edward Martin is the deceased, so that's the account that we're working on. There are 3 options: general, then question, and then items. General notes are overall notes regarding the deceased or to be communicated that are not specific to a question or an item. Question notes are notes that you've added or someone else has added related to one of the questions, one of the 100 things that define the second level below the categories. And the last is by item. So an item note is something specific, be it a piece of information discovered, an action someone needs to do, an assignment of someone to do work, just some sort of reference that you find to one of the 941 items that are within the application. So we're going to enter notes for all of these right now. So one thing, there are actually 2 things that are tricky within notes just to watch for. One I'm redoing the video for because I forgot myself is, I'm going to show you on questions instead of now, but let's type in a general note. And let me put Joe, call Rena. Put Joe is going to discuss with his sister Rena assignments. Rena. So this is sort of a top level action item here of Joe talking to Rena. So it's, it has a spelling issue. And it's not specific to a single question or item, but it's more of something general. So one of the first 2 tricks and things to watch out for is you have to save the notes, which is this bottom button, which sometimes doesn't appear because the keyboard comes up over it, but you have to save that note for it actually to be recorded. So that's trick and watch out number 1. So we hit save, general note has been added, and here you see that anyone coming into the notes section, any user would see that Jane Martin on April 20th, 2021 has added a note, Joe is going to discuss assignment with Rena as to what Rena is going to do. And Rena is not currently a user, but that's just sort of a reference, kind of an assignment and a delegation. So the next one is for questions. Now, this is the second trick and watch out. So if you just press question, nothing happens. You need to remember, if you're actually adding a question note, you have to hit the plus sign on the bottom. So we hit the plus sign on the bottom, it actually brings up in the drop down all the 100 questions to pick. And then let's say we want to add something for L. We type in, hit L, and then for the question note, L is going to be the one shown that it relates to. And let's just say flag, because Edward Martin was an Air Force veteran during the Korean War, though he didn't serve. He was at Air Force Cambridge. And then we'll put a notice, ask military about casket flag. And so here we have a note. So this is the second trick to watch out for. If you leave this page, the note won't be saved. You need to make sure you go down and save it. So again, the 2 tricks and notes to always watch out for is 1, to make sure if you're trying to record a note for a question or an item that you hit the plus sign so you can select it from the drop down. And then 2 is to make sure before you leave the note area. So we'll go back to the question note, and there you can see for question L, Jane Martin on April 2021 has a note titled flag, and then ask the military about casket flag. So the last one we're going to do is an item note, and there are 941. So let's hit this and we can go search. So let's go search for veteran. And we can see the main parts of the veterans are in the 800. So that's where most of the veteran related ones. So let's just put an item note for 812 and then put ask about support for my mom. And so, sorry, it was spelled wrong. One of the difficult things with the Apple keyboard is it does cover a lot. Ask about vet support. And then Jane will call military groups about funeral. So we're adding a note here, and again, we have to make sure that before we leave, we hit the save button, and that saves it. And so now we've successfully added a general note, a question note for question L, and then an item note for item number 812. And again, these notes for premium users who are collaborating especially can be used for making assignments, recording details, writing down information, tracking numbers, putting in dates. It's very, very useful. As we like to promote, AirList can be the command center for resolving the affairs for the deceased for everyone. A great coordinator, especially if you're using other services as well. It allows everybody to work from the same page from an application on their phone and to coordinate and divide up the work. Again, thank you very much, and that's the notes function for premium users.